Video Killed the Radio Star was the first ever music video.
And we needed a place to play that. And it wasn't going to be on any random channel. It's going to be on the music, television. What's the V?
Music television, of course.
I see. Okay, yeah, well, I was raised by MTV. That's why I don't know how to spell it. So many epic shows we could get into. Made,
Celebrity
True
Death
Life.
Oh my God, Made in True Life.
Those were my
We need to like
shows.
pause on that because that's crazy.
Well,
remember in Made when it's like, she was like, I want to be a cheerleader. I forget that
I remember that
episode.
one.
And then at the end, it was like, she just wasn't very good at being a cheerleader.
And that's real.
Yeah. It's the 50s, it's the 60s, it's the 70s. Rock and roll is the devil's music. And it's not on TV. But then MTV comes along.
And then they decided.
I don't know if the MTV comes along. Video Killed the Radio Star was the first ever music video.
And we needed a place to play that. And it wasn't going to be on any random channel. It's going to be on the music, television. What's the V?
Music television, of course.
I see. Okay, yeah, well, I was raised by MTV. That's why I don't know how to spell it. Yeah, music
Listen.
television, the first of its kind. Hello, MTV.
MTV gave us a platform sort of to like enjoy music videos, and it sort of allowed artists a new avenue to express their art versus just putting out a song. We could turn on MTV and see the music video, and even some music videos premiered on MTV, which was kind of like a big deal for me.
Oh my God, it's such a big deal. You'd run home from the ice skating rink or wherever, the mall, wherever you were, really important places, just to watch these music videos. So I feel like early on, MTV was the first of its kind, and it gave a younger generation a voice when we were like really not as important. Like we were getting jobs.
Yeah.
I feel like MTV set the tone.
We were in the war,
I
and
feel
now
like-
it's like music.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's very cool. And I feel like what MTV, tried to do and evolve is interesting.
As a gay immigrant, which I will talk about every episode, MTV meant everything to me. Like that was who I wanted to be, where I wanted to be. It's literally what gave me like the vision of where I wanted to be. And then I worked for MTV and it wasn't as glamorous as I thought, but
Now Jade.
it's what drove me, and it meant so much to me as a kid and to all my friends. So this is exciting to get to talk about it and to be on Team MTV.
I think for me, just in general, both networks, to be fair, like have played a really big part in my life. I feel like with MTV, I wouldn't know what I wanted to do with my career in terms of like talking about celebrities. You turn on MTV News and there's Such and Pac and there's Sway with his head wrap on.
Oh my God.
You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
memories.
Yeah, MTV was the beat of, it was the vibe. It was the beat of society. Like it was like, if you're a teenager or like early 18 to 25, I would say
I would say that's pretty much the demographic, yeah.
You knew about MTV and what was going on. Let's get into like early shows that so many epic shows we could get into.
TRL, Beavis and Butthead,
Oh, yeah.
Daria, Celebrity Deathmatch.
Made,
Celebrity
True
Deathmatch.
Life.
Oh my God, Made in True Life.
those were my
We need to like
shows.
pause on that because that's crazy. Those shows were crazy.
No, because they really showed like it was the first place where teenagers could see other teenagers on TV. Like there was
Other than
nothing
just
like
going to
it.
school. You
Yeah,
can see
but-
teens at school.
We hated them.
Yeah, we don't want to go to
Go to
school.
school.
Teens that are inspirational.
Watch teens at school.
But to your point, you're in the woods. You don't know anybody except bears and deer.
It's only
okay?
Sasquatches and walks out
Then
there.
you see a girl
Okay.
that's like, I'm from New Jersey, and we get to see like these people's everyday lives in such a cool light.
But
Bumpets
remember
and
in
lip
Made?
liners.
I guess that's cool.
Remember in Made when it's like, she was like, I want to be a cheerleader. I forget that
I remember that
episode.
one.
And then at the end, it was like, she just wasn't very good at being a cheerleader.
And that's real.
Yeah.
And that's
but that's
real.
also, and she probably feels bad about that
Yes.
nowadays. So that's a bad show.
She's
No,
probably
she
on
feels
some
great because she
reality
makes a
show.
dream that she's not good at.
You know what? Like all these memories, like I remember there was like Made, I need bigger calf muscles. And it was about like a gay guy getting a calf implant. Do you guys remember
I don't
this?
think that was made.
That sounds like True Life.
That's
True Life, True Life.
Or My Strange Addiction, which is another show.
That's another show, not on either network.
Shout out
It's
TLC.
Yeah, TLC.
We're not sponsored
the
by
Learning
them.
Channel.
But wait, for you guys watching this right now, if you have a favorite nostalgia moment from MTV or VH1, get your fingers typing in the comments because we're nosy and we want to know.
I mean, hello, date my mom?
Date My Mom,
Yeah.
Room Raiders.
Room
Who-
Raiders.
Some dirty, dirty rooms with the black lights.
They would
was
kidnap
so
kids
crazy.
and then go through their panty drawer with black lights. You can't do that nowadays.
Yeah.
And for a good reason.
And now, And now I clean my panties. After that show, I'm very aware.
I do feel like now talking through some of these things, I do feel like MTV did create like a toxic culture.
MTV more like
I'm like
invented
all
reality
these,
TV.
I'm like all these shows where we're like, let's focus on this weird part right here.
I do,
this makes sense for what TikTok
it kind
is
of messed
right
with
now.
me if
Do you know
I'm
what I
thinking
mean?
about it. When I was like a little girl, I remember my older sisters always had like boyfriends, and I was like, "Do you guys want to room raiders my room?" And they were like, "No." And I was like, "Who wants to go room raiders my room?"
Guys, here's a block light. You
And
guys
they were
check
like,
it.
"No." But I remember one time I did get my sister's boyfriend to come in my room, and he was like, "Cool." And I was like, "Room
You were like,
raiders."
this is the best day ever.
Yeah, and that's toxic.
No, but you guys, that's how we found out about the rest of the world. Like, I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, I remember seeing the Jersey one and I was like, I'm from Jersey. Like,
Okay.
it all started
Okay.
with music.
Yeah, that all started
And then
with
we
Muted.
went into like actually learning about musicians and like knowing about their life. And like, it sort of created like the young celebrity vibe that we never had before.
I feel like there was a wall up between like us and celebrities before MTV really started to like give celebrities like TV shows. Like even down to like someone that's like an athlete, like Ryan Sheckler, the skateboarder. He had the show Life of Ryan. People were obsessed with him. Even going back before that, Bam Margera.
Oh
Like
my
he was
God,
a
Bam.
su-
Oh my God,
he was
that
a
was funny.
hyper
Yeah.
famous like
From
skateboarder from
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And you know, he
Shout out.
had
What was it?
Viva La Bam.
And
Yeah, Viva La Bam.
Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey, they got married and MTV immediately put cameras in their face.
I mean,
from the
remember
US.
when she
Yeah,
thought
but-
chicken of the sea?
Yeah,
she thought
yeah.
it was chicken.
Pranks on celebrities.
Pranks on celebrities. They needed it. We wanted to see that side of celebrities, that playful side, that weird, like, I mean, Justin Timberlake crying about his guitar being gone.
Brandy sprinting down the street because she's thinking that Ray J is going to be
Oh
arrested.
my God.
I think with
Love
the show
it.
like Punk'd though, it still is like not real. It's
Yeah.
not real. It's
I
all
was on it.
staged.
It was pretty real. We were actually punking people.
Really?
Mhm. Yeah, we were punking people. They were falling for it.
Receipts.
Yeah, when
proof,
when the boat
screenshots,
blew up,
time, everything.
yeah,
I
Taylor
was
Swift.
there.
Taylor Swift thought it was real, 100%.
That
They were
episode
all
is
for
so
it. Yeah,
That
they
was
fell
really
for it.
good.
Yeah.
Did she see the yacht exploding?
Yeah, she
So
thought it
funny.
was real.
Isn't she like with Justin Bieber?
Yeah.
When that happened?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and then
like her
all the
and
actors
Justin Bieber.
swam. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's real. It was
And she
real.
was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh no.
They
Oh,
were really
no.
getting punked. And then like a lot of episodes would get canceled if they knew. Like so
Did
we
you-
wouldn't keep going.
So is the one the one where Kristen Bell, the puppy?
I wasn't on that one.
Oh, good.
I was on the very last season of Punked when it was like when Ashton was like, I'm down with this. Like other celebrities host it. My favorite one was when Miley came in and they're like, Jade's gonna be playing your best friend. And she goes, I guess we be friends. But I was there and these celebrities were really falling. Like it was
was
a
real?
It was
Was it
real.
staged?
It was not staged. Like we went beyond like money, resources just to make sure we actually got them.
Was
like
Dax on the show then?
Dax was on the
That's
show
so
then.
Maybe
Yeah.
okay. So you're saying it was real, but maybe like deep down there was because you weren't like the executive producer of it. I have a feeling that it wasn't real.
It was 100%
But to you,
real.
they're like, yeah, it's real, but maybe
No,
like,
we wrote this. We wrote all the pranks. It
I
was
know. I'm
100%
just saying
real.
they
Yeah.
always have to sort of like let celebrities know what's going on.
We did one where we wanted Chelsea Handler to go on a hike, okay? And then she had just gotten this brand new car and we were like, okay, let's like switch out her car and put a bear in it. Okay, so she thinks that her real car, like while she's on the hike, this bear mauled her car. We did the whole thing. She canceled like the day of. So we had gotten an entire car, a bear, like it would happen all the time where like they would catch on and then the whole thing would have to be canceled. So the ones that happened like early on, those were the best because
I
it
guess
wasn't a
that's
thing
real.
yet.
Yeah, and people
You
weren't
know?
expecting
Yeah.
and
You know
anticipating.
what? I
it.
will say Punk'd is an important
Real
show.
entertainment.
Punk'd is an important
Yeah, it's
show.
interesting.
We
And
do
you
need
guys,
to be punking
and like some of them, you
celebrities.
got to see them like Ellen Pompeo, like we got to see like kind of the side that we didn't know before. Like they would play like these really nice celebrities, and then on Punk'd we got to see like, oh, they're actually kind of a.
I'm actually
This one.
I like that show. I don't like pranks. I'm
It was
bad
hard for
at
me.
them.
Yeah.
I'm bad at pranks. I tried to prank someone one time and I just organized their closet.
Surprise! I organized this.
So I don't know. I just was like, this is crazy, right? Like color coordinate. Anyways,
I feel like I loved pranks, but again, I feel like it is just in the court of like I think it gave people anxiety. Like celebrities for a
It gave
while
me
were
anxiety.
like, oh my God,
Am I being
like
punked?
am I being
Yeah.
punked? Like, is this a scenario? Like
Yeah.
and the same as like Jury Duty. You know what I mean? That show, if you don't know Jury Duty,
Yeah,
it's a show
watch.
where it's incredible. It's literally flash over substance.
that's what I'm saying.
Do you
They
know
were
what I
just
mean?
about like,
that's what
yeah,
I'm
let's
saying.
take advantage of. They took advantage of
Yeah.
like You know what I mean?
They,
and that's what they
I
did.
know what you're
VH1 wasn't doing that. VH1 said, here's a light and we're going to shine it on the truth.
Yeah.
No, but that's not true because look at shows like The Real World,
Thank you.
Road Rules. They were like just putting in a camera and not really like producing these TV shows yet. Like,
Oh, you
they
don't think they're
ru-
producing that?
Not to the
Oh, give
not
me
to
a
the
break.
extent that they're doing now.
Here's
Here's
an
the thing.
example.
I
Here's
feel
an
like I feel like VH1 definitely told the stories of artists, which is great, fine, and dandy.
Full stop. Full stop.
However,
MTV showed us on TV, the youth.
Yeah.
It was awesome to see us on TV for once.
It was
Instead
like
of seeing
Nickelodeon, but
celebrities
yes.
that were on every channel
Yeah.
But
anyway.
there's a reason why rock music was not put on TV in, like you said, the 50s, 60s,
Yeah.
whatever. Because it's bad for us. Like
Yeah.
what MTV did is like
regular-
bad for
And
us.
also, regular people should not be on TV.
listen, Candy's bad too, but like, what? How dare you? We're canceled immediately. The show gets ripped.
Regular people should not be on TV.
What makes it a regular person?
That's
you
a
mean
good
like
question.
a
I mean, like-
non-actor?
Yeah. Because, yes.
Like we had TRL. That's what mattered. TRL made artists.
TRL was actually the polls. That top
Yeah.
20 countdown y'all talking about on Saturday morning, we wasn't watching. I'm so sorry.
Maybe
like,
you
is
weren't watching
Carson
it.
okay?
Carson
Where
is
is
actually
Carson?
thriving.
So much
Yeah.
TRL. Like,
yeah,
I
he
don't
did
know.
too many episodes.
He did too many
Yeah, he did too many
episodes.
episodes.
Poor Carson. He never got to change his outfit.
Yeah, he was always dressed like an uncle.
He was familiar for us after school.
Yeah.
Some of
Also,
us needed that
in
familiarity.
those
Yes.
boxy jackets they always put him in. Sorry, Carson.
And we were talking about this earlier, but we were like, MTV is really the precursor to TikTok, which
Yeah.
is destroying our society.
Okay,
And
China.
paying my bills.
Just
Yeah.
to speak
So
to
we
Carson,
love them.
I will say Carson Daly did sort of feel like he belonged with VH1, and I bet that, and this is alleged, but I'm sure VH1.
What the hell?
I'm sure that they tried to get him.
No, I know what you mean. No, I know what you mean, but it was
Carson
better.
Daly would never in his boxy jacket life step foot on that top 20 countdown.
But
Are you
I
kidding
agree.
me?
But I agree.
Yeah.
He's more VH1 vibe in
You
my head
think?
too. Okay, but this is why they got him because
Not on
remember
an island.
MTV also had news like
Yes.
really early on. Dave,
Oh
what
my
was
God,
Dave's
I
last name?
remember
I just
that.
met him at a
Holmes.
wedding. Dave Holmes.
Dave Holmes.
And who was the other guy? The
Dave
the
Holmes,
dreads.
Sway,
Sway.
Suchin Pak, Ananda. We had our VJs and our news anchors.
Yeah, and VJs they made they brought in, you know, all these like Pauly Shore. There was like VJs that were like the faces of the network, which no network had done before.
Well,
Sure,
VH1
sure.
knew that the face of their network would be the stars. The musicians. They didn't need.
Yeah,
they
the
didn't need to
stars.
bring in
They didn't-
people.
They
They
don't
didn't need to bring in
pretend to be a
personality.
news
Yeah,
source.
yeah, they
Like
didn't.
it's not a news source.
This
Like
isn't the news. Go to
MTV
NBC.
was almost like, let's just throw anything at the wall
Here
and
we-
see if we'll
Yeah.
get viewers.
We're about to have another conversation about the full package.
right.
Wow.
MTV gave us music videos. They gave us interviews with the
TV
stars.
shows.
They gave us TV shows. They gave us animation.
They gave us the award,
They gave us the.
the
Wow.
Moon
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Get him
We can
again,
talk at the
Jay.
VMAs. We can talk
They
about
gave
that if
us
you want.
they gave us moments. I mean, the kiss between Britney and Christina wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the VMAs.
Which,
And
by the
okay,
way,
sure.
if
You
you're
ain't getting that
interested
on
in
Divas.
that,
Oh, yeah.
you can go to our other episode, which is Britney v. Christina.
Okay, so sure, MTV gave us the VMAs, but then VH1 would do something like behind the music to talk about it.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
What?
that to me is, it's actually giving.
yeah, it's like the Cliff Notes.
grandfather.
And
Telling the
and
story.
divas, right?
Oh,
they had
yeah.
divas, which
And
is
that, I don't even want. I'm gonna get really passionate
No,
if I
let's
talk
do
about
it.
divas.
Let's
do it.
You
Let's
guys
get into
know.
it.
Everybody
Yeah.
knows how I feel about divas, and I don't know. I think it's just one of those things where they focused on was the vocals, the performances, the talent,
Yeah.
and that was it. They didn't need any flashy anything. They didn't need the stunts. They didn't
don't
need
need
that.
slime
they had
coming
the
off the
talent.
walls.
They had the talent, and they weren't afraid to bring on Aretha and to bring on Whitney and these musicians that were maybe older. They didn't care that they were older, and because they said you're a diva no matter how old you are, and that is a problem because once you reach a certain age, once you're past 30, you're out. Get out of here. You know, in American Idol, that you have to be 25 to audition for American Idol.
Hey, chill out.
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Yeah, she's okay.
I'm sorry. Your life isn't over because maybe some people when they're 25 are Christian and they
Oh,
don't know what
God.
they're doing.
Okay.
This is I don't know. We
Audience,
lost.
I want to ask
Your
y'all a
life
super
isn't
important
over.
question.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Audience, if y'all watching right now and you lived through the 90s and the early 2000s, can you answer this pregunta for myself? That's questioning.
That's question in Spanish.
Espanol. Which was more impactful throughout the 90s and the early 2000s? VH1 Divas or the VMAs?
Okay.
Get your fingers click-clacking
Yeah,
in the comments
yeah.
and let your voice be heard because we're listening.
And also, like, a network doesn't have to just show music. It also has to entertain and influence people.
Wrong.
I
You know who
disagree.
should, you know who
Wrong.
should influence you?
Who?
Yourself. You should be influencing yourself.
Yeah, I know, but I also want to be. I also want to like be entertained and like.
Oh, so you want to be influenced to Spring Break and have to be naked?
But that's not all that
Do you
MTV
understand that Spring
showed.
Break is what I wanted to do when I grew
Yeah,
up?
when
That
I-
was inspirational and motivational. That was good social time,
Oh
good music,
my-
and it looked like a beautiful cocktail.
Here's
Yeah, and a
here's what we
cruise.
need. We need to be watching people who are building themselves and their career and their craft and like seeing that over a lifetime versus just clickbait headlines. Like we need to be seeing
But that's
Whitney
not what it was about.
Houston and Aretha and Elton John, like understanding the hard work and
Yeah.
perspective and the creative
That
perspective.
is what I want my
that it
children
takes.
to be watching
And
if
that's-
I ever have them.
and to be seeing someone the full length of the career, because I think what MTV was promoting is like, yeah, this thing where it's like, okay, you get past 35, what's your marketability? Nothing. Like
No,
you're
I
out
think
the
they were
show.
just
Goodbye.
they were just finally giving a place for kids that age. We didn't have a space where we could enjoy being that age and
Yeah.
seeing
Oh, the
ourselves on
club.
TV.
The
no,
club.
no, when you're younger and you're not in a city where
At
there's
8
no
years old?
clubs. Like I'm in Virginia where there's like one lesbian club in the middle of the woods. Like we're not allowed in there. And like so it was finally like a place for us to see ourselves and like to be excited about being young and to like hook up and like listen to music and like also inspire people who are young to be artists, like to want to do that kind of thing.
It's important to include everybody, okay? We're not just talking about
No, but
teens.
these TV networks are specifically for a range of people. 18 to 34, I believe, was MTV.
Yeah.
And there was approximately an average of 2.4 million people watching the channel per day.
Yeah, because they don't have to work and pay their bills. They're teens.
Okay, the 1999
They can watch
VMAs
TV.
attracted approximately 11.9 million people. That's not just a small group of people, you guys. That's everybody.
Okay, great.
VMAs
That's
so
great.
big
Yeah.
it streams
Yes.
on VH1 too.
Because the
That's
VMAs are so
crazy.
huge and iconic. So 11 million. But like Divas, you said yourself, nobody even knows about it. But still, 8.5 million. That means we're only 3 million behind you and we don't have any marketing. It's because of the talent.
One time?
we didn't even talk about pop-up
Yeah.
video.
One time?
Yes.
We didn't even talk about
Where's
pop-up video.
Divas 2024?
a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, because TRL alone averaged about 853,000 people were watching that show. That's insane. That's not
That's
just
not a
kids.
lot of people.
That's a lot of
How
people.
many was watching that damn countdown?
When I was there in New York, there was not a lot of people. When I was there watching TRL live, there was nobody there. Nobody
Look,
there.
and I don't wanna get
It was
bugged-
empty.
I don't
It
want to
was
get.
empty.
Okay,
she
how about
goes New
this?
York. She
You know
goes
what?
New York.
You
I was
know
just
when
gonna do that.
Beyonce had a baby, allegedly a baby, she didn't reveal that on VH1, did she?
Show didn't.
Look, the
it was
numbers-
on the VMA stage. Spoiler.
Yeah.
The numbers don't matter.
But they also
At
don't
the end of
lie.
the day, the only thing that matters is what
What?
changed your life.
Yeah.
MTV.
MTV.